started. Before we actually do, I just want to remind you all that before you leave here today to get credit for this workshop that you need to scan out. So be sure to do that. Thank you for coming to the Internships 101. We've got Rebekah Maxwell here who will be speaking on this topic. So if you all help me and welcome Rebekah. I'm really excited to be here today because I too was a student at Lamar, did a business degree while I was here, and I had a great time. And actually, if you really take advantage of the things that Lamar has to offer, you'll be able to do some really exciting things, and that's what I'm going to be talking about today. I'm going to give you just a brief idea of what you will need if you're going to look for an internship, why you should look for internships, and then we'll discuss some people who have done internships to get their career started who are pretty famous today. So you have a handout, or you should have gotten a handout when you were signing in. If you want to take notes, write down any questions you might have. At the end, I'm hopefully going to speak for about 45 minutes, and then we'll have about 10-15 minutes for questions at the end. So I really encourage you to ask some questions. And after I talk about internships and what you need to do, I'm going to tell you a little bit about my experience with internships and getting experience that you can use in the workforce. So hopefully if you stay with me and just ask questions at the end, it'll be great. We're going to actually get started. I'm going to show you a video that I found whenever I got ready to do this about internships.
How to get an internship. If you want to break into an industry, any industry, the best strategy is to be born into a family that owns a business in that field. The next best thing is to get an internship. You will need a computer, a phone, and unflagging tenacity. Step 1. Pick a field to intern in. Choose something that's exciting to you. You don't have to know a lot about the field. That's what an internship is for. You just need a genuine enthusiasm for learning more about it. Step 2. Update your resume. Include any work experience or academic study related to the field you want to intern in. Many internships are unpaid. Be prepared to live cheaply. Step 3. If you go to a school with an internship coordinator, see if he or she can advise you on your area of interest. Step 4. Tell everyone that you're looking for an internship. Friends, family, neighbors, dentists, flight attendants. You never know who knows who. Step 5. Send an email to all the reputable companies in your field. Even if they don't officially offer internships, people will respond to enthusiastic inquiries. If there's a company you really want to work for, consider contacting high-level people there directly. If they like you, they can make something happen for you right away. Step 6. Book as many interviews as you can. Step 7. Send a thank you note or email after all your interviews. Step 8. When you get an internship, be enthusiastic and work hard. Remember, the people you're working for could give you a real job next year. And besides, everyone hates a lazy intern. Did you know Microsoft founder Bill Gates once interned as a congressional page and supported himself by selling old campaign buttons as collector's items?
Okay. Whenever I first was contacted about doing this workshop, I actually went on to YouTube, of course, Google and YouTube, and looked for, just typed in internship, and this came up. And the reason I wanted to show that video is because it is a little bit corny, but it does tell you basically in a nutshell what you need to be prepared for with an internship. It mentioned, getting a resume out there, writing thank you notes whenever you've gotten done with an interview, and being prepared to possibly take an unpaid internship. And that one that they mentioned with Bill Gates, that was actually an unpaid internship that he took when he was 17 years old. So it doesn't necessarily matter if you don't know a lot about the industry, you just want to get some experience, if you want to figure out if that's a career that you want to take, that's what internships really are great about. It does offer you some valuable work experience. Have y'all heard the commercial for how do you get experience when no one will hire you? This means yes, and this means no. Have y'all heard that? Yeah? Okay. So that's one thing that comes up a lot whenever students are getting ready to graduate. And one way you can get experience is by doing an internship. Obviously, it does give you an edge on your competition when you go to look for jobs. A lot of internships, when a company is hiring an intern, they want someone to fill a full-time job a lot of the time. So they're looking for people that they can hire part-time, see how they work, see what their work ethic is, and also see how they fit into their company. And so a lot of times, a lot of friends that I've had who've done internships, it leads into a full-time job. So that's another great way if you're wanting to build your resume. One thing that's something to keep in mind, a lot of people don't think about is an internship isn't only a way to get experience, but it's a way to figure out if your career path that you have thought about, that you've planned for, if that's really something that you want to do. Sometimes you get started into a major, going to school for a certain degree, and you just kind of pulled it out of the hat. That's what your parents did, or that's what your friends are doing, and you don't actually have any real experience in it. So if you get involved with an internship, you get an opportunity to figure out, is this really what I want to do? And if you don't, if you decide that's not what I want to do, then that's okay, because you haven't invested all of your time and effort yet into a full-time job. So that's really great. Networking opportunities, that is one of the things that students don't take advantage of whenever they're in school. That's something that you can really benefit from in the future. I've really worked on my networking skills over the past few years, and it's amazing what job opportunities can come up. It's a great saying that's always, it's not what you know, it's who you know, and that is really true about the Southeast Texas area especially. A lot of times people want to hire someone who they know on a personal level, and they've gotten to see some of their experience, maybe with an organization or with a meeting that they met them at, something like that, or maybe even someone that they taught. You can talk to your professors possibly about doing an internship with a company they had worked for in the past. So that's really a great way to build your resume. So who are some people who've done an internship before and got their career started that way? Steve Jobs actually, in the video you saw that it said, contact high-level people in an organization. That's actually what Steve Jobs did when he was 12 years old. He contacted the president of Hewlett-Packard on the telephone because he found his phone number in the phone book. And he was working on a project, and he needed some parts. So he called him up, and he was talking to him about what he was doing and why he needed these parts, and see if he could get them from Hewlett-Packard. Well, at 12 years old, he was offered an unpaid internship at that company for the summer. So he actually was there learning about a skill that he could develop at the age of 12. So take that into consideration. You can sometimes, if it's appropriate, contact someone in the organization and figure out if there's an internship opportunity. Ursula Burns is somebody that I found when I was looking through different interns in the past. And she actually did an internship with Xerox and worked her way at the company. And now she was the first African-American woman to be a leader in a Fortune 500 company. So that's just an example of where you can go with an internship. Sometimes you are able to work your way up through the company. Another one, Bill Gates was in the video. He actually helped pay his way while he was doing his internship because he was unpaid. He actually collected old buttons, the pins that you wear. When he was at Washington, he actually collected those and sold them as keepsakes. And that's how he actually paid his way while he was doing his internship. So you can get creative with how to make money to support yourself. Another one, if any of you are interested in fashion, Betsy Johnson started out as an internship. She actually got her internship because she sent a thank you letter. She sent a thank you letter after an event to the president of this magazine company, and she had hand-drawn a shoe onto the thank you card. And so that person, they saw it, and they saw that what she could do as far as her drawing, and they got her an internship. So don't underestimate thank you cards. Another one, Steven Spielberg. Again, he did an unpaid internship whenever he was getting into the movie industry. He actually developed his first short film when he was doing his internship, and his boss saw it, and that's how he launched his career in the movie business. So these are some examples of some great people who did do internships. Another one, if any of you have seen In Pursuit of Happiness, that's Chris Gardner.
This part of my life is called internship.
1200 building is Medley Industrial and Senko Oil. The building across the street is Lee-Ray Shipping. In a couple of weeks, you'll get call sheets with the phone numbers of employees from every Fortune 500 company in the financial district. You will be pulling from 60 Fortune companies. You will mainly be cold calling potential clients. But if you have to have lunch with them, have breakfast, if you even have to babysit them, you will do whatever it takes to familiarize them with our packages. We need you to match their needs and goals for one of our many financial plans. In essence, you reel them in, we'll cook the fish. Some of you guys are here because you know somebody. Some of you guys are here because you think you're somebody. There's one guy in here who's going to be somebody. That person's going to be the guy who can turn this into this. 800,000 in commission dollars. You, help me hand these out. This is going to be your Bible. You'll eat with it. You'll drink
It was simple. X number of calls equals X number of prospects. X number of prospects equals X number of customers. X number of customers equals X number of dollars in the company's pocket.
Your board exam. Last year, we had an intern score a 96.4% on the written exam. He wasn't chosen. It's not a simple pass-fail. It's an evaluation tool we use to separate applicants. Be safe, score 100. Okay? Let's take a break. Be back in 10.
And here I was again. Show up early.
Well, qualified persons. Qualified persons are interested in investing and have money to invest now. Chris.
Yes, sir.
Would you give me some coffee, please?
Favors for Freakish, our office manager. All day.
My name is Chris Gardner, calling for Mr. Michael Anderson. Well, yes, sir. We're having a lunch actually this Thursday. Okay, next time. All right, I'm going to hold you to that. Okay, yes, thank you.
Who wants to give me a donut? Chris?
Yes, sir.
Feeling underrated and unappreciated.
Hello, Mr. Ronald Fryer. Why, good morning to you, sir. My name is Chris Gardner, and I'm calling from Dean Witter, because I have some very, very valuable information on what's called a tax
Luckily, I haven't had to do an internship where I had to go get coffee yet, but that does happen. Chris Gardner, has anyone watched In Pursuit of Happiness? Yeah, okay. So you know the story, he was a homeless father, and he ended up getting this internship and ended up making his way. And now his life is turned into a movie. So those are some examples of people who did do internships to start their career. And like that video showed, sometimes if you go into a really big company, you are put into a program with a lot of interns, and they're looking for a few people to ultimately get a full-time job out of that. I have a friend who's in England right now, and she's doing an internship with the company for their defense department. And she's in an internship with 25 other interns, and they only have 2 spots left at the end of the summer. So she's going through something similar to that. And sometimes whenever you're doing an internship, especially when it's with a big company, you might have to do evaluations throughout the internship, do tests, or have interviews with certain people within the company to kind of evaluate where you've grown, what areas you've grown, where maybe some of your strengths and weaknesses lie, and how to improve those. And even if you end up doing an internship while you're still in school, that's actually great, because a lot of times you can get class credit for that. Whenever I was here at Lamar, I did do an internship actually at the Career and Testing Center, and I got class credit while I was here, and I had to do evaluations, I had to give a presentation, I had to write up reports during my internship, so those are some things you might have to do. So what will you need? Obviously, classic things: resume, cover letters, letters of reference. One of the biggest barriers that students tend to have, especially at the undergraduate level, about doing an internship is they already probably have a part-time job, and they don't want to give that up. They're thinking, why do I want to give up, a job where I know I have it for the next year, I'm making X amount of dollars, I don't have to worry about it, it works around my school schedule, whatever. But sometimes those types of jobs aren't actually giving you real quality experience that you can carry on to your full-time job after you graduate. A lot of people, waitressing, whatever. I have a brother who's doing mechanic work right now, different things. Is anyone here currently working in a part-time job? Yeah? Full-time job, that's impressive. What are y'all doing right now? Waitressing? Part manager? Huh?
I'm a bank teller.
Bank teller, okay. Some of those are giving you experience, but it might not be in exactly the field that you are looking to go into. If you're looking to be an accountant and you're working as a waitress, that might not be the best way to get experience. So you might want to give up that job for a part-time temporary internship. But the good news is a lot of times that does lead to a full-time job. So that's something you have to think about yourself. Unfortunately, I've heard about some jobs recently here in Southeast Texas where the company wanted to offer an internship and has tried to get interns, but they can't get anyone to apply because no one wants to give up their part-time job because it's temporary. But in reality, after I've been back here in Beaumont for about 5 months now, and I've been talking to business leaders, and they say, you know, usually we list our internship as a 15-week internship or a 3-month, 4-month internship, something like that. But they said in reality, it actually won't end. If we like what we see in you, if we like what we see in our employees, if they need to work part-time because they're still in school, we'll keep them for as long as we possibly can. Hopefully, if we like somebody, we want to hire them full-time at the end of their college career. So that's something to think about. I know a lot of students are always kind of hesitant about that, but that's something I really encourage you to do. I did give up a part-time job to be able to do the internship at the Career and Testing Center, and it was like a 15-week internship when I applied for it. But I was able to work in that job until I graduated from Lamar. So it's definitely something that, you know, talk to the people. If you apply for an internship, you get an interview, bring that up. You know, ask them if there would be potential to work past the 15 weeks if that's a possibility. Thank you cards, that was in the first video. That is a big deal, and a lot of people don't do it. If you send a thank you card after you have an interview with someone, I've always done that, and if it might not be talked about if you meet that person again, but it is appreciated, and it does make you stand out, because a lot of people don't do it. And then, like the other video said, it's a little bit corny, but, you know, tell everybody. It said, tell your dentist, tell your flight attendant, tell your friends, tell your parents. That really is true. If you start telling people you are looking for an internship, you're looking for something part-time, full-time, whatever, most people know somebody. So that's really something to do. So another thing that I'm going to be talking about is something I was able to do partially because of the internship that I had here at Lamar, and also because of my experiences with an organization here at Lamar. After I graduated with my bachelor's, I was fortunate to receive a scholarship to go to Scotland to do my master's degree. So now I've graduated with a master's degree in international marketing, something I really enjoy. While I was in Scotland, though, I took advantage of some live projects that our class was working on. We had the opportunity to work in to get some experience. So that's what I'm going to talk to you about, too. We had an opportunity to do kind of an internship, a 6-month project with a company, and so I volunteered. We actually worked with a company to do research in China, and so they were a local company in Scotland just outside of Glasgow where I was living, and they were an oil lubrication systems manufacturer, so they actually made oil lubrication systems to go on motorcycles, and that hooks onto the motorcycle and actually lubricates the chain while you're riding it. So we had to work in a team for 6 months. It was really interesting because, as you can see in the picture, I don't know if you can see it very well. Whoops. There we go. It was a very diverse group. We had, in the class that I was in, we had 90 students in the program, and we had 85 international students. So we had people from all over the world. We had to communicate, work as a team to research about China. And luckily, we had some Chinese students in our group, so that helped. But if you go into these projects and you really put everything you have into it, and you communicate with the company, ask what they want, help do the reports, all that kind of thing, if you really get into it, it really gives you some great experience. And now I can put on my resume that I have market research experience in the Chinese market. So that makes me much more marketable whenever I go to talk to a company, especially since now, whenever I was here at Lamar, I did a general business degree. Was really fortunate in my marketing classes to really find out that that was my passion, so that's why I did my master's degree in that. And now whenever I go to a company and I'm applying for a marketing job and they see that I've done actual market research, that is a really big plus because some people haven't done that yet. Another thing that we worked on was presentation, report building, all those things that you learn about in school. You might be putting together a small report, 5-page report or something, and you have to put together a 100-page analysis about a Chinese market, a specific industry. It really puts all of those skills that you've learned in the classroom into practice. So that's really important whenever you go into a job. Another experience that I had, kind of a similar thing, was actually a very short 4-week project that we did, kind of an internship basis. We actually competed with other students. We had the opportunity with a company. I'm sorry, I have to apologize for my voice. I've had a cough, so I feel like my voice is going. But we had an opportunity with a company. They were we wanted to launch a new energy drink, and they needed someone. They put together teams in our course to compete against each other to create a brand, a name, a logo, and also a marketing strategy for their soft drink in the UK. So that's what we did. We were really fortunate. Our group, we had 8 people in the group, and we had, in the course, the way they did it, we picked 4 people to be in a team with. We did that, and then they took 2 teams and put them together. So we got to pick some of the people in our team, and then the other part was just dumb luck. We happened to have a really great team that had a great variety of work experiences. We had one guy who had done graphic design before. We had a couple of people who were really great at market research and who knew how to get information. We had someone who was great at presenting, great at getting energetic and getting the word out there. So we really had a great team. That's one thing I know as business students, if you're a senior, you're probably going through the senior management course. You have to work with a team for the whole semester. Whenever you get to that stage, think about who you want in your team, not just because they're a friend of yours, but because of what skills they'll bring to the table. We were really fortunate. We were actually chosen out of over 300 students groups, and our brand is being launched in Scotland right now. They launched it in November. So now I can put on my resume, I have this real-world experience, actually have helped create a brand that's in the marketplace, in a country, and that's actually out there. So that's really big. That has huge impact whenever you go and start speaking to people about your job. And you can do those things, whatever internship you're in, usually you get an opportunity to work on a project. So you put all the effort you can into those great projects, those great learning opportunities, and that will show in your resume. And especially if your internship doesn't lead to a full-time job, I decided not to stay in Scotland. I wanted to come back to Texas, and so I didn't take any jobs while I was there. But whenever I came back here, it's made a huge impact of seeing, okay, they worked on this project. I can go into an interview and say, this is how this project started. This is what we did in the middle. This is how we planned things, and this is how it ended. And so that's really important to show that progress whenever you're in an interview. So what am I doing right now? I actually decided, whenever I was in Scotland, I was trying to decide if I wanted to go into for-profit or not-for-profit organizations. I have done a lot of service work in the past, and I really love doing that and working with non-for-profit organizations. And so I actually got back and I had the opportunity, when I was giving a presentation about some of these experiences that I just told you about, some of the marketing experiences that I had an individual come up to me and ask me, would you be interested in an internship? That was something I wasn't really interested in actually. I was really focusing on a full-time job. I had my bachelor's, I have my master's, I was all set, full-time job, here we go, start my career. But John Pascal, the CEO and president of the BBB here in Southeast Texas, said, you know, I don't have a full-time opportunity right now, but I want to hire someone in about 6 months. Would you be interested in an internship? So I said, sure. It was a paid internship, so that's really good. So I've been working the past 5 months at the BBB, not 5 months, 4 months now, as a marketing assistant. And I've been able to put, again, all those things that I've learned in the classroom into practice. We're working on some special projects because it's our 50th year anniversary at the BBB. And I've been able to work on things that I never would have had the opportunity to do. Contacted people, talked with people I never would have really had a reason to contact before, both on the political scene and also in the businesses here in Southeast Texas. And unfortunately, I can't tell you exactly who those people are because we're not launching that until May. But it is really exciting to be able to do an internship for a non-profit organization. That's what the BBB is. They're non-profit. Their mission is to advance, be the leader in advancing marketplace trust. And so they're working with companies and with consumers to help build trust, build ethical business practices in the area, and really help grow the area. So that's been really fun for me to see the nonprofit side of things, how they work, which actually is really similar to for-profit companies, so that was really interesting. But that was something that I wasn't looking for, but someone came up to me and offered it to me. Didn't have anything strong that I was really being pulled towards, so I said, hey, this sounds like a great opportunity, why not? And it gave me some great, amazing networking opportunities here in Southeast Texas. If you get an internship and you have the opportunity to go to extra events, extra things you might not be paid for because it's not company time, but you are representing the company, then that's really important to take advantage of if you can, because you might meet people and you're talking to them and they're saying, oh, you're working at the Better Business Bureau. Yes, I am. What are you doing? Well, I'm a part-time intern right now doing marketing. Oh, well, when does your internship end? Well, it ends in March. Well, give me a call because in March and whenever you're going to finish it, I might have a job that I want you to do. So that's really, it's really a great opportunity because it gives you a floor, it gives you a platform to say, I'm with this company right now, and you're able to go to a lot of different events because you're representing the company. Right now, I'm getting ready to end my internship with the BBB. I have 3 different job opportunities that I'm looking at right now and applying for and interviewing for. And they're all pretty strong that I might be chosen to get those jobs. So that's really exciting for me because now, because I have all these experiences, these real work experiences in marketing, I'm able to choose which of those 3 jobs that I would like to have because of that experience that I've got. So it is really important. If you start looking for internships and you don't really know where to go, I'm going to give Angie more work to do because I'm going to say go to the Career and Testing Center. If you don't know really where to start, I think Lamar's really great about working with you. I know Angie can correct me if I'm wrong, but whenever I was there, you go in, they help you build a resume, they help you get prepared for interviews, they'll build a cover letter, they give you all the tools you could possibly need to be successful in the application process for an internship. And that's really important. You have some great people just across the hall. If you're a business major and you're in here a lot, it's really great to be able to go in there and talk to them. And you can go and knock on Jacob's door and just bug him for me and all that kind of stuff. So it's really important. So anyway, these are some, if you wanted to find out more information on what I've talked about, I got those business profiles. It is really interesting. There were about, I think, 12 business profiles on this website that was businessinsider.com, and it gave you ideas about all these different people who are now highly successful CEOs, presidents of organizations who did internships. It also tells you about certain people who did an internship, didn't like it, decided they wanted to go into something else. There was, I believe his name is Andrew Cooper, who's now a news anchor, and he did an internship with the CIA when he was in school. He decided he wanted to do this internship. He thought at the time he was really interested in going into that type of a field. He did this internship, I think it was like for 6 months or something. At the end of it, he decided that was not what he was interested in. So that's an example of someone who did put in the time, put in the effort, decided that's not what he wanted to do. He ended up doing journalism. He changed his major. So that's something great to do if you're a sophomore, a junior, if you're not quite at the stage where you have to worry about graduation yet. do an internship. It's never too early to start. You know, Steve Jobs got an internship at age 12, so it's clearly never too early to start. And it gives you that background that you might need. Another great resource that I found was Internships.com. That has some good information. It carries you through what you would need to prepare yourself for an internship, tips for when you're doing an internship, things like showing up on time, putting in the effort, looking professional, how you carry yourself. So all those things are really important. And then if y'all have any questions, I think I put my email address on the handout. If y'all have any questions about my experiences with internships, if you have some questions about an internship, I'll probably direct you to the Career and Testing Center more because they might have more information about the Southeast Texas area. But if you even have questions about studying abroad, doing a master's program, things like that, please contact me. I love to talk to students, especially at Lamar, and give back to this area, so I'd really love to talk to you if you are interested. So that, before my voice fails, that is my presentation today. I'd love to answer any questions y'all might have. Any at all.
Why did you decide to come back to Texas instead of staying in Scotland?
Well, that is a really good question. There were several factors that went into it. It is Scotland and the UK and Europe as a whole. It was a great place to visit and live. I would actually live there and work for maybe 5 to 10 years, but ultimately I would want to move back to the U.S. because politically it's a lot different. Socially, certain things they have that they do, on a social level, I wouldn't want to raise my family there, for example. Scotland was interesting. I had a great time there, so I don't want it to sound like I'm just, ooh, I don't like the UK. I really did love it when I was there. But it's different. It's much different than good old South, especially Southeast Texas. Yes, sir?
How did you support yourself?
Huh?
How did you support yourself?
Well, I had a scholarship. I was involved with Rotaract here at Lamar. It's a service organization. I would highly encourage you to get involved in any organization, but Rotaract is a part of Rotary International, which is a worldwide philanthropic organization. And they offer scholarships to study abroad for 9 months. So it's whenever I went, it was a $26,000 scholarship. So that paid pretty much for all of my tuition, a little bit of my living expenses. I had worked all the way through my undergraduate degree because I saved up a lot of money and had a really good savings account that I lived off of, and I also took out a small student loan while I was there. So, any other questions? None whatsoever. Y'all are quiet. I'm going to start asking y'all's questions so that I can keep y'all here for another 20 minutes. Not really. We'll wait till they get here with the slides. No other questions? Who's interested in doing?
Are there a lot of resources or potential opportunities to intern available through online searching?
Yes, there is. And I believe it's hireacardinal.com, specific for Lamar University students. That's a really good resource. I'm trying to think. I think it's internships.com, I think had a search option. I'm not sure about that. It was either internships.com or internscout.com was another good one. So, and also, if you're interested in a particular area, big companies usually have an internship option. Places like BP has a really good internship program that a friend of mine went through. And actually 2 friends of mine went through that program and now have full-time jobs, really nice jobs in Houston. And they were economics majors. So it's not just about, a lot of people, whenever I say BP, they think of engineering, but it's also for business majors. Target has corporate internship. You can go to, I think they're incorporated in Minneapolis, or that's where their headquarters are at. So things like that. Just go to the company website if you're interested in a specific company. And if you're looking for a specific company, come to the Career and Testing Center, give them a call or something. Sometimes if it's not listed with the hireacardinal.com, then sometimes they might know, oh, hey, I know one's coming up. So they would be able to give you information. Also, I don't know if I'm just saying stuff that y'all have heard before or not, but the career fairs, they still do career fairs here at Lamar. Go to those. If you go around, even if you're a sophomore, freshman, or I don't know if you can go in as a freshman, but sophomore, junior, senior, if you're not looking for a full-time job, you go around with your resume, dress professionally, and you tell them, hey, I'm looking for an internship. What do y'all have available? A lot of times those companies will also have internship opportunities. Have I convinced anyone in here to do an internship? Yes, sir. Oh, good. Awesome. One person raised their hand. Yes. Okay. Do you have any other questions? No questions? Okay. Just for my feedback, if I ended up doing this again, I want to hear what was good about this presentation. Don't worry about being harsh. I can take it. And what was bad? Nothing? Y'all are going to be shy about that.